This next story was actually shared on a comment in an AskReddit thread in 2011, and it reads as follows. My last semester at a certain college, I was assaulted by a football player for walking where he was trying to drive. While unconscious on the ground, I lived a different life. I met a wonderful young lady. She made my heart skip and my face red. I pursued her for months and dispatched a few jerk boyfriends before I finally won her over. After 2 years, we got married, and almost immediately she bore me a daughter. I had a great job, and my wife didn't have to work outside of the house. When my daughter was 2, my wife, bore me a son. My son was the joy of my life. I would walk into his room every morning before I left for work and doted on him and my daughter. One day, while sitting on the couch, I noticed that the perspective of the lamp was odd, like inverted. It was still in 3D, but just wrong. It was a square lamp base, red with gold trim on 4 legs and a white square shade. I was transfixed. I couldn't look away from it. I stayed up all night staring at it. The next morning, I didn't go to work. Something was just not right about that lamp. I stopped eating. I left the couch only to use the bathroom at first. Soon I stopped that too, as I wasn't eating or drinking. I stared at the fucking lamp for 3 days before my wife got really worried. She had someone come and try to talk to me. By this time, my cognizance was breaking up, and my wife was freaking out. She took the kids to her mother's house just before I had my epiphany. The lamp is not real. The house is not real. My wife, my kids, none of that is real. The last 10 years of my life are not fucking real. The lamp started to grow wider and deeper. It was still inverted dimensions. It took up my entire perspective. All I could see was red. I heard voices, screams, all kinds of weird noises, and I became aware of pain. A fucking shit ton of pain. The first words I said were, "I'm missing teeth," and opened my eyes. I was laying on my back on the sidewalk, surrounded by people that I didn't know. Lots were freaking out. I was completely confused. At some point, a cop scooped me up, dragged me across the sidewalk and grass, and threw me face down in the back of a cop car. I was still confused. I was taken to the hospital by the cop. Seems he didn't want to wait for the ambulance to arrive and give CT scans and shit. Went through about 3 years of horrid depression. I was grieving the loss of my wife and children and dealing with the knowledge that they never existed. I was scared that I was going insane, as I would cry myself to sleep hoping I would see her in my dreams. I never have, but sometimes I see my son. Usually just a glimpse out of my peripheral vision. He is perpetually 5 years old, and I can never hear what he says. A few years ago, I made a pen pal from another state through a website. We talked a lot with very extensive and specific letters for about a year and some months. She told me about her childhood, her high school experience, and what she was going through at the time. Her family, her house, her city, everything. One day, she tells me that she was going on a vacation. Couldn't send letters. So she sends me her Instagram in case of an emergency if I wanted to talk to her. Honestly, I'd tried to find her before on social media, but her name and surname were too common. We were very close, and I didn't like talking to my pen pals on social media. But one day I wanted to tell her about an accomplishment I made. I go to the user she sent me, but it didn't seem very active. She had no bio, no PP, and only one photo. I recognize her face because we sent pictures of each other. I open the photo and see it was from 2016, and it had so many comments. Weird, she had almost no followers. I thought maybe this isn't her main account anymore. But then I opened the comments. She was dead. Her comments were family members, friends she talked to me about. They were all giving their condolences and saying how much they missed her. I didn't know what to think, so I try and look up what happened to her. Apparently someone had murdered her in early 2017, the year we started writing to each other. Thinking it was a bad joke, how could it be? Maybe she made it all up? I keep on writing letters as if nothing happened. I asked her specifically about 2017, though, if it was a good year or not. She tells me a lot of things that happened that year and that she went out with a creepy guy for a while. I don't write to her anymore after that and haven't received any letters from her. But it still haunts me. I still don't understand what the hell happened there. Update. After everyone told me that I was talking to the murderer, I got very, very freaked out. That never crossed my mind. I did some research and found out that they had two suspects, her boyfriend and stepmother. And they both went to jail in 2018. But they released the stepmother a while later and closed the case saying that the boyfriend did it. He got many years, so he must be in prison still, hopefully. His name or face isn't public, of course. So I couldn't know for sure if he's free, but he probably isn't. Anyway. Someone said it could have been a family member or a friend, not knowing how to cope. And I think that might be the most logical answer. I really felt like I was talking to her all that time, though, but it could be that. I should do something more, try to reach out to someone who knew her, but it low-key scares me. Another clarification. The web page that we met through asks for ID picture and a bunch of other stuff for security measures. It's designed for teenagers, and so they don't get catfished.